Isba police arrested 11 Christians for eating during Ramadan, and those Christians are majorly from the Igbo extraction. Maybe there's some Yorubas there, and there's some few northern Christians
that have reservations against Chief MKO Abiola. We have deep reservation for Babangida as at that time. I have, and all the people, Lodi Badia, the rest of them who was trying to champion the OIC agendas at that time. Gowon and the rest of them. The agenda to confirm and to register the membership of OIC by these elements have started even before now. So they are only playing according to a written agenda, a script, to make sure that the Funta Jalon have a significant presence with ancestral location and geographical zone in Nigeria. People that don't have any country they can call their own. Funta Jalon is a tribe in Gambia, ancient years ago. So Frederick dearly John Lugard, who was instructed at the Berlin Wall in Germany on the how Africa, West Africa, must be shared. The British intelligence unit in Berlin, as at that time, was able to tender a particular report. I want to tell you something. A particular report about a certain tribe they call the Igbo people. That the only obstacle they are going to have at the end of the day is that FBI agents, CIA agents, in form of missionaries, Reverend Fathers, Red Cross, and all of them have already submitted the report that it will be difficult for the British government to conquer the eastern part of the country. And that agreement was presented in Germany, Berlin, where Africa was shared in 1885. And in sharing that arrangement, the issue of how to use and subdue to stop the black man rise started from there. They transferred subsequently some of these things when Lord Lugard left Congo and came to Nigeria as Governor General under the British colonization. And he recognized, having served with Africa all the rest of his life in terms of colonization and obtaining report, and all that, he discovered that there were nomads they called the Fulanese, majorly from Funta Jalon in Gambia. They were nomads, traders, everywhere, Arabs. And they decided at that point in time to begin to plan on how to decimate the Igbo people.
But is that why the Igbos cannot accept Islam in general?
I am coming. Naturally, without Islamization, without traditional religion, naturally, the Igbo man believes in the Chi.
What is the Chi?
The Chi is somebody who made what man cannot make. That's what Igbo man believe. He calls his Chi every day he wakes up in the morning. That means the Igbo man does not believe that human being is God. Human being cannot be able to create air, water, fire, sky. No. Anybody who does that becomes the Chi. And that's the attribute that Igbo man has brought to his culture and tradition. And if you look at it very well, according to the British revelation as at that time, it was discovered by certain colonial masters under missionary rule that the first ever democratic principle was being observed in Igbo land. I'm coming to the issue of Funta Jalon, the Fulani. And when in 1885, when this thing was being arranged, they moved back. They decided to move this Lord, very Frederick John Lord Lugard, down to this part of the world. And Frederick Lugard brought the concepts of what he was able to see within East Africa, West Africa, North Africa. That experience, he mobilizes on getting to Nigeria and use Fulani agenda. Knowing that Fulani does not ask questions, the Hausa man does not ask questions. They do not question anything that they do not understand. But every other tribe, the Yorubas and the Hausas and the Igbos, they question the rationale behind every British decision as it stands, anytime, any day. And that was the basis of that. And based on that, they introduced and allowed Ottoman Dafodio Fulanis to conquer the North, the Hausas. Knowing fully well that the arrangement they have and the brief they have about Africa, West Africa, the Igbo people, has already been tendered in Berlin in 1885. That was why when it came to Nigeria issue, Frederick Law Lucas understand very well that the only way to go is to empower the Fulanis in the north so that they be able to conquer the Igbo people and be able to take their resources. That was all. The Niger Dog was a company. Nigeria was sold to a company.
So are you saying that Nigeria is a company as a
no,
nation?
Company bought Nigeria now with money. Maybe £50 or £200 or £300. They bought Nigeria. Niger Dog bought Nigeria as a company, not as a nation in the first place. So the interest of getting it is to profiteer the British system. And the resistance, based on where the resources is located, is in the east. And they are finding it difficult, 35 good years, to penetrate the east. So to keep them in perpetual suppression and oppression, that was why they allowed the Fulanis, and the islamization agenda started from there.
So are you saying that Nigeria now looks like an Islamic nation?
I'm giving you an insight of what I mean by the agenda that came to a point that the likes of Chukwumansopu them, some of these people, Awolowo them and the rest of them, saw this thing as a major threat. That this thing is going to bring a menace to a nation that has just been given birth to hand over the structure of Nigeria to the Northerners is going to cause a lot of damage. And at the end of the day, Nigeria must not be able to run as a nation of justice and fairness, possibly arrogated to an archaic system of leadership. Those who practice monarchical system, does it still work for them? If you go to Britain, the Queen is the head, it's monarch, it's kingship. King Charles, King this, King that. In Igbo land, there is no king. Everything is ran through democratic settings, principles, units, connections. Age grade, that's how it's being run. Consultations, go and read this all apart, you will discover it there. So it became very difficult for the British system to penetrate. They discovered that the people that actually practice democracy are the Igbos. Because in everything, the king does not take decision alone by himself. He must consult more than 20, 30, 400 age grades. And anything they agreed is final. And that's what democracy is all about. So when they were coming, they said, no, we don't want you. It took them 35 years. But in the north, it wasn't like that. So they now saw that this is an avenue, and they came and they sustained it. Even after the 1996 coup, the British still sustained and making sure that these people does not rise. You can see it in the Revelation. Awolowo, Aburi, everything was done to make peace. But one is saying that the British wanted it. The British supported the war because that has always been what they wanted to because of what is there. And the Fulani, and they are using it to bring about the Fulanization agenda. Everything is coming gradually to an extent now. They are openly advocating it, even at the National Assembly. They are now telling you that Nigeria is no more a secular nation. That Nigeria is under the principles of political Islamization, Sharia law, and the rest of them. But constitutionally, Nigeria is a secular nation. Is Nigeria really a secular nation? Nigeria is not a secular nation. That is what it is after the Berlin Wall arrangement, and up to now, that agenda, of 1885 is still on to today. So when you see them shutting down schools, doing anyhow in the north, doing a number of things to the extent that Christians have been persecuted, arrested, and jailed in the north as a sort of Ramadan, that is what this society has become. That is what the Muslim ticket is all about. That is what the Hausas, the Yorubas, the Fulanis always wanted. About it's unfortunate that they have fragmented the old Eastern region to their own benefit, and everybody have to pay the price. And you can see what is happening in River State. That is it. That is part of it. They will continue to make sure they have the struggle in that region and be able to begin to make sure that they have a foothold in that state. Let them go ahead. After we are hearing it, Eastwatch is in southwest Yoruba land, Boko Haram is in Yoruba land, and they are also advocating. With the Yorubas, are they going to reject the Sultan of Sokoto direction about Ramadan now? The Yoruba Muslims are they going to do that? They feel that they have gotten what they want in the Yoruba land, and the next target is going to be the Eastern Nigeria. There is many, many more reasons why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a big obstacle wherever they are, including Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is looking to that way, in facing the reality. He is a Muslim. Everybody must not be a Muslim for crying out loud. I've not seen where Christians are dragging Muslims to go to church. I've never seen where Christians hate Muslims and dragging them to church. I've never seen. But you can always see killings of Christians in Nigeria as a result of religion. A governor shut down the entire school in a secular society. He didn't say those who want to stay do Ramadan. If you are not stay, those who want to go to school, go to school. You shut down, even arresting schools that are not having anything to do with Islam, shutting them down. That is the society we find ourselves, and that is what it has become. We must reject any plan to Islamize the entire people or to begin to manipulate. I always watch something that is developing just for a week now between Macron and Donald Trump. I'm sensing something deeper, because at every point in time you are seeing Bola Ahmed Tinubu always in France, always in France, always in France, and everybody keep on wondering, what is Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to France always to do? Just 3 days ago, when Emmanuel Macron visited Donald Trump in his Oval Office, it was discovered that Emmanuel Macron actually conveyed a message from Nigerian federal government on how to Islamize Nigeria finally. Fortunately, it was rejected by Donald Trump. There was a lot of friction to that. There's a lot of clashes on why Nigeria should be Islamized using proxies like Emmanuel Macron to carry out such an agenda to have a global and international endorsement. They sold it to Donald Trump. He rejected it because he knew how they have been killing Christians for a very long time, and that is why the whole world is celebrating him wherever he is now, because even in London, Donald Trump was celebrated for recognizing the nationalities of Biafra. That is what we are talking about today. So let them continue in their quest, and I'm sure the whole world is watching at the right time. I will keep you posted on this development surrounding the continuous Islamization push in Nigeria.